building because it is nature, and I believe if you leave nature alone, it will fly its own way.
I love that last sentence. I believe if you leave nature alone, it will fly its own way. It's almost like it's a metaphor, isn't it? Sounds like poetry there. Do you want to take this with you and maybe show it to Mrs. Mitchell? Especially that last line. She loves poetry. She'll like that. Well, birthday boy, are you up for one more? One more book? Okay. This one is called Snake Myths. You know what a myth is?
Yeah, like a real thing, like just showing. Or
Flip it. It's the opposite. Not a real thing, but something that,
is made.
yeah, it's something that kind of people think is real, but it's actually, it's made up. It's like, sort of like, there's a myth that bats will always dive into your hair. So when I see a bat, I always cover my head because I kind of get scared, but that's actually a myth. Bats don't actually like to fly into hair. They are just diving for bugs. That's why they dive so low, because there's probably mosquitoes all around my face.
If you just look at you can see the light shining off of it. You can tell like it seems real, but it looks fake at times.
Mm-hmm. Like the snake seems fake?
Yeah, at times.
Mm-hmm. It almost looks stuffed or something, huh? But yeah, what if I told you that was a real photograph?
Must be hard to tame.
Must be. I wouldn't want to try to tame it. Can you think of some snake myths, like some things that people think are true but they're not true?
Like when I'm fishing, there's fake worms. Fish think they're real.
Oh, okay, so the fish are kind of tricked by that almost? What do you think a snake feels like? Do you think it's slimy?
No, it's
Yeah. Okay. Because usually I think one of the myths about snakes is that people think when you touch it it's going to be all slimy and covered with like ooze, but that's just a myth. That's what people think, but it's not true. Alright, so it says, people tell stories or myths about snakes. Read to find out about 5 myths people tell and learn about one of the truths. So myth and truth are 2 different things. Alright, I'm going to read part of it out loud and just do the best you can. Okay, and I'm going to take notes again.
Okay. Do snakes frighten you, or do you find them interesting? Snakes cause feelings of terror and
Fascination.
in many people. This is probably why there are so many stories about snakes. Myth 1. One mistaken story is that snakes can hypnotize their prey. Snakes don't put their venom into a trance, but it might look like they do. Snakes can't blink because they do not have eyelids. Eyelids that move. Snakes do a lot of staring, but they cannot hypnotize other animals. Some animals do hold very still if they see a snake. They probably freeze out of fear. They are not hypnotized. Snakes' eyes are protected by a layer of clear scales. Myth 2. Snakes' tongues can be dangerous. That's another misunderstanding. In fact, only a snake's fangs are harmful. A snake flicks its tongue to smell the air. It can use smells to figure out which way its prey is moving or whether an enemy is near. If a snake flicks its tongue at you, it's just trying to figure out if you're something good to eat. Don't worry, snakes rarely eat people. poisonous snakes have two large fangs in the upper part of the mouth. Myth 3. Some people think that snakes feel wet and slimy, but snakes' skin are really very dry and smooth. This smoothness makes a snake's skin look shiny and wet. The way a snake's scales move, sliding along the ground may also make them look slimy.
The rest you can read quietly, and then I'll ask you a couple of questions.